Welcome to Off the Cut, a podcast where we talk about building, making,
and answering all of your questions.
I'm Eric from Spenceley Design Co.
And I'm Zach from Zach Builds. If you have a question that you would like us to answer on air, you can send it to offthecutpodcast@gmail.com.
You can find both of us on YouTube, Instagram, and unfortunately, because we have to keep up with the kids, you can find us on TikTok too.
All right, now let's get into the show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Off the Cut episode 41. We're up in Canada. Today is known as Tuesday, November 29th, 2022. But here in Ohio, oh my gosh, how did I didn't even look at this. I literally looked it up and just typed it in. Today is respectfully dedicated to the food of the day, cream pies.
Oh,
shows you how immature we are here.
Yeah, well, you know. Okay, what is a cream pie? Is just like you get your like pie filling, or your pie like outer part, and then you just fill it with whipped cream. Is that all a cream pie is?
Well, Zach, when a mommy and daddy,
when they love each other very much and they want to make a baby,
they wrestle. No, I think you're right. It's just I don't know. Well, is a cream pie?
Can't even say it, can you? Are we going to get taken off YouTube for this? Are we going to get demonetized?
No, we're talking about food.
Yeah, true.
We're talking about food. I mean, is a cream pie like a pie crust with like? Because Miranda makes a sugar cream pie, which is like a
I'm sorry. I'm trying here.
We're gonna lose all of our viewers, or people are gonna be like, you got to sign into this allegedly woodworking podcast where they just
yeah, right.
They talk about the cream pies. She makes this sugar cream pie where it's like a custard filled pie.
Okay. So would like a lemon meringue pie potentially be considered a cream pie?
I think a meringue is made with cream, is it not?
I believe it is.
Made with cream. Do you know how difficult it is to type something while you're also saying it out loud?
Mm-hmm. Do you know how difficult it is to type cream pie into Google and get legitimate responses?
And not immediately go to Google Images?
Yeah, it's like safe search warning.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay. Meringue is whipped egg and sugar.
Oh, okay.
So
no, then.
No dairy,
Same.
Perhaps?
Okay.
Oh, it says occasionally. Oh, cream of tartar. Whatever the hell that is.
That's the stuff you put on fish sticks, right? Tartar sauce.
Yeah, I don't know if cream of tartar is the same as tartar sauce.
I mean, that's tartar. What is tartar?
Isn't it? I thought it was the crap that builds up on your teeth.
No, that's plaque. Or no, there is tartar though. They do in the is tartar different than plaque?
I don't know.
Wow, we're getting into like some deep questions on this episode.
Really biting into this one.
Yeah, what is the essence of a cream pie?
I don't know. Well, I tell you what. We've got some people that I know personally love a good cream pie.
Who's that?
Well, we got some new patrons this week.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, you know how it works. Sometimes we get it when we had a guest, and we're not trying to derail our guest conversation. I gotta adjust my volume. There we go. Okay. New this week, Rigid fans. So, that's okay.
I mean, hey, look, they're not Odie's Oils.
That's
fans,
true.
So
yeah, nobody wants to support them.
I don't like. You know what I don't like about the tier system is that I'm put in the awkward position where I have to insult our patrons, which I really don't want to do.
It's okay.
Because I don't like mocking them for being Odie's Oils fans because they're our patrons, but at the same time they're also Odie's Oils fans.
Yeah, I mean, but see, that was the whole thing. We're gonna put it up as Odie's Oil, so people are like, I can't be the lowest tier.
Yes, exactly.
So our Rigid fans, and this is what the people pay for, is to get themselves ridiculed. We got Young Architect, Phil Evans, his brother's Bob. Does the restaurants, the breakfast place?
That might be a U.S. That might not.
Oh, damn, the joke didn't land.
Yeah, that might not be a cross-border thing, or I might just be super ignorant. It could go either way.
You've never heard of Bob Evans?
No, I don't know Bob Evans.
It's like the biggest breakfast chain. It's like a sit-down breakfast chain.
You mean Denny's?
It's the same idea.
Okay.
Same. Do you have Cracker Barrel?
No, we don't. We have Pickle Barrel, which I've always assumed is like a crappy knockoff of Cracker Barrel.
Is everything dirty when you walk in there and like they serve just a bunch of like home cooked country food?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's probably the same thing. Maybe when you're down here for Workbench Con, we'll find a Cracker Barrel to go to.
Okay, sounds good.
And our other rigid fan, and I really hope this is a real name and this person is into tools, Alan Key.
Oh, yeah. I think that's got to be somebody screwing with us. Is it just spelled Key?
Yeah.
Allen?
Yeah.
I think they're screwing with us.
That's the first person that decided to join Patreon to mess with us, which nobody's done that. Like Dingleberry Fart Liquor. Nobody's signed up under that name yet.
It's true. It's very true. Hey, can we rewind for a second? So was that 3 Rigids fans or 2?
3.
That was 3. Oh, wow.
Young Architect,
Jeez.
Phil Evans, and Alan Key.
I mean, okay, do you think Young Architect is a real name or is that just a handle?
They messaged me on Instagram, and forgive me, I don't recall what it was about, but that was their username.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Are they a creator too? Like, should we be giving a shout out like at Young Architect?
I feel like such an asshole, dude. I get so many messages that like I recall if somebody messaged me. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember what we had discussed. I'll look it up later.
That's fair. We can check later.
Okay, and then returning top tier patrons, we have our Cockers, Derek Jennings, Corey Duvall, and Scott Eastman at EC's Woodshop. And then king of our returning top tier patrons, we have
Wesley Willard.
Yeah, exactly. But he changed his name and he wanted me to know. He wanted to
Willard
be
Furniture?
No. Did you say Little Richard?
No, I said Willard Furniture because isn't that his handle?
I think it's Wes Willard Furniture, but it might be
Wes
Willard Furniture. I don't know. He wanted to be changed to the Power Cocker, formerly known as Wes.
Okay,
I dig it.
I support that. I support that.
Well, real quick, we'll end this segment. If you want to, support us to get us down to Workbench Con and listen to the after show and get a bunch of other cool stuff, chat with us, whatnot, what have you. Patreon.com/off the cut podcast. It's in the description.
Perfect.
Rather than trying to transpose that.
Yeah, that's too many things to write out. Just go to the description of the podcast and click the link.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna crack into this, Zach. Oof.
Is that raspberry?
Raspberry, yeah.
Nice. Raspberry.
Yeah.
I've just got boring tap water today. I'm out of bubbly. I don't have a clubhouse like you that I can go and steal them from.
Oh, I got them. Dude. Okay, wait. I got a lot of things written down here. First thing we need to address.
Okay.
Tell the people what happened last week with the after show.
Okay. So, do I do it by throwing Mark under the bus?
Absolutely.
Or do I just okay. All right. Sorry, Mark.
I mean,
here we go.
Let's get my the whole podcast is based upon the premise of us being honest.
Yes. Okay. Let me just really quickly stretch out my knuckles for this bus throwing that I'm about to do.
Dumbass.
We recorded a very good main show, which everybody, hopefully at this point, has listened to. I mean, I thought it was good. We had great chemistry.
It was a
lot of fun.
One.
It was a lot. Well, the main show was the normal length, or a little longer than normal. Then
main show was hour 10.
Hour 10.
So,
but I think the after show was potentially even longer. I think it was like an hour 30 minutes. It
was longer than that. It was a hair under 2 hours.
There was multiple points where we did like false stops. We're like, okay, let's all get out of here. And then we kept talking for another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I think that happened like 3 or 4 different times. But yeah, Mark forgot to hit record on the second set of recording. And it was funny too, because I thought he was just gonna record one big file, let it roll the entire time.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was a communication error between the three of us.
Yes, yeah. I think we could have reminded him to start recording again. He forgot to record again. And I'm trying to remember what was covered in the after show, because I think he's told us some stories about almost being abducted on his way to Workbench conference that
yeah. I thought
the patrons were really going to love.
He gave us a whole dissertation about a Workbench conference, these stories about his first time being in Ohio, about like almost being abducted, where like he was like literally had to like just floor it in his car, like go through red lights, and like it was nuts.
That was two separate stories, though. I think
I'm blending them together.
One was in Ohio, where he almost got abducted by a fan who said he was real pretty and that he could sell him for a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, the thing. Okay, anybody listening, we are not kidding. This is we have to get him to retell the story because he's coming back on.
Yeah, he is for sure. And then the second one was him in Detroit at the Detroit-Windsor border.
Yeah.
Took a wrong turn there and almost got carjacked at a stoplight.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting after show, and I was really excited to share it with the patrons, because not only was it good story, but I also feel like we covered a lot of content stuff that would be really helpful for people.
Yeah.
Long story short, we're gonna have him back on. We will cover all of this ground again, hopefully. Because it was just a lot of fun. He was a good guest.
Yeah, we had a fantastic time just, talking to him and chatting and whatnot. And it was a bummer, but I did put a heartfelt apology video out on Patreon.
Oh, you did? Yeah. I missed it.
You didn't miss anything.
I was out of town. I was out of town all weekend, so I'm really behind on stuff. I was in our great nation's capital for a wedding.
Oh, so. San Francisco.
Not quite. Swing and a miss.
Well, so we got that out of the way. You got any? So you got any specific topics that you wanted to bring up? Anything of note that's happened within the last week or so?
Only thing that's happened of note so far is I think I've made another enemy with a Finnish company.
Ooh, do tell.
I posted a video about the results I had working with Osmo. And I still haven't read it yet because, frankly, I don't really care that much. But I have email in my inbox, and I saw the first line of the email was, "Hey, Zach, somebody saw this on social media and forwarded it to me, and it's from the Osmo Canada rep that I've been in contact with before."
Okay.
So, and I know that whoever runs their social media was trying to do a little bit of damage control on my Instagram. Like they were. I basically said I used Osmo. I got some rings a couple weeks later when I put drinks on it, and people were commenting about their experiences with Osmo. Yeah. And then I noticed the Osmo Canada account came and started saying, responding to everybody basically.
Were they at least being polite?
Oh, very polite.
Okay,
very
okay.
Polite.
I'm good with that.
Yes.
I'm totally good with that then.
Not pulling an Odie's oil or anything like that. But when I saw the email in my inbox that said, "Hey, Zach, somebody forwarded this to me," I was like, "Oh, this doesn't seem like a fun start to an email."
Here we go. Were you under contract or anything?
No. They offered to send a rep to my shop and show me how to use it, but I tried booking a time with their rep. And our schedules never worked out, and it kind of fell by the wayside for like 3 or 4 months. I was like, he's forgotten, I've forgotten. I'm just going to go buy the product out of my own pocket, try it, and then talk about my results. And that's what I did. And it was interesting. I got a lot of responses from people saying that Osmo is not suitable for high use items. So okay to put on something, like a shelf or something, but no good for like a dining table.
You should reach out to Keith Johnson, because I know that he also likes Osmo a lot and does it on a lot of his furniture.
Okay.
But I've also heard from a lot of people, and I think I've brought this up in the past, a lot of people have claimed that it no longer performs the way it used to, and they're under the suspicion that they have a different supplier for their chemicals or whatnot. And a lot of people have gone away from it. So I don't know. Yeah. I can't speak to that. I've never used it myself.
Yeah, I need to find it. I still want to get that vesting stuff that you like using.
Did the Zach guy never respond to you?
No, never responded. I'll follow up and see if I can. See if I can get him.
Shoot him another message. I mean, truly, I've used that in Rubio. If you blindfolded me, I wouldn't be able to tell you the difference between the two.
Okay. Did you use that on your dining table?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. the elusive dining table that's been done for what, 6 months now, and the video's still not out.
Oh well, that's okay. You're waiting for a sponsor.
Right? Am I? Man, am I?
And that's a big video too. You could probably get 2 sponsors on like a 45-minute long video.
Yeah, I wonder about that. If somebody would be down for that.
Yeah. Would you even have to disclose to the 2 companies?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's curious. I watched some bigger YouTubers who have they have a beginning sponsor and then an end sponsor a lot of the time.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. If it's a 45-minute long video, I'm going to pitch to the brand like I always try to do. I will do it in the first half of the video. Mm-hmm. So I could start the ad read at 23 minutes.
Yeah.
And the vast majority of people would never even see the ad, but I'd still get paid for it.
True. It's not a bad way to do it.
I mean, it is what it is, but yes, so I don't know if that's going to come out. I'm in talks. I guess I got Bespoke Post. I got one for December. I'm double dipping on that and a Craig video for December. Mm-hmm. They just are so slow to respond to anything.
Oh,
very nice, very professional, but they're just unbelievably slow. But it also could have been because of the holidays for us within the last week or so.
Oh yeah, Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, I'm over it because Miranda wanted to cook stuff for a work potluck. Okay. And then we had my family's Thanksgiving on Thursday, and then a lot of her family members worked on Thanksgiving, so they did another Thanksgiving on Saturday. So I just had to cook so much stuff, and then we want to have a Friendsgiving on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So in a couple days, so we're gonna have to cook stuff again. I'm I'm just so over it. Give me
too
one
much
day.
Cooking.
Right.
Yeah. That's how I feel like I'm just really behind on stuff, and I just want that. Those respite days. It's the day where you do all the little things that you've been putting off doing. Yeah. I need one of those days, and I'm not getting it for a while.
Dude, I guess. Well, good news. I finally got my garage door fixed today.
Ooh, nice.
So it's been 16, 18 days.
Okay.
That took them.
Okay.
Dude, I had expired everything that I could do inside. I was like, okay, I'm going to mop the floors. I'm going to clean the baseboards. I'm going to do all this back-end admin stuff. And it was yesterday at 4 o'clock. I was like, dude, I finished everything I can do. I've written scripts for 5 more videos. I've started emailing brands for sponsorships for all these upcoming videos and stuff. And I'm like, what the hell do I do? Finally saw them today. They had to replace the entire door.
Oh wow!
The tracks, the motor, and the big chain thing. They basically had to replace the entire damn thing.
Did they know what was wrong, or were they just we don't know what's wrong, so we're going to replace the whole kit and caboodle?
They subcontracted it out to a garage door company, so I'm sure they were just ha!
Yeah,
we'll just do the whole thing.
Look, we can troubleshoot this all day, or you could just pay us, a couple $1,000 and we'll replace the whole thing in one shot.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
I spent the last 2 weeks of my life with all of my tools in my living room.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very nice to get them out.
Yes.
Today.
Yes.
So
Nice.
But now I got a bunch of videos to do. Did you end up talking to Judy from Woodpeckers? Did you end up doing some stuff, or was it like not a good fit?
Yeah, you know what? I realized I'm such a dick this way. She kind of sent me a thing that was like, hey, it's not a paid thing. We're just like going to do free tools. Yeah. And I started typing out like a response like, hey, Judy, I'm sorry. It's just not a good fit right now. I really don't have the bandwidth to take on any unpaid. Forgot to hit send.
Oh.
And so I've just left her hanging for like the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Come on.
I know. So I'm going to have to go back and attach a big apology to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So short answer, no. I'm not doing anything with Woodpeckers.
No, fair enough. Well,
yeah.
For anybody listening, I guess if you're watching, I can show you. Here's a new one that's coming out.
Ooh.
It's
looks like a little ninja star.
Yeah, it's a ruler. And it has imperial and metric because I've needed an imperial and metric. And one side has like the center starts with 0 and then goes like over to 3 and then 0 over to 3 so you can find the perfect center. And then the one right below it, and I'm sure I'm probably showing you the wrong one, is just like 0 to 6. So it has imperial and metric, has all of them, which is pretty cool.
What's up with the base on it? Is that just a little stop? Like the
little black thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can adjust it like this and like slide it so you can make repeatable things. So
I like that.
This is my attempt to get people to watch the live stream. You want to see the other one?
Kidding. Yes, please.
So it doesn't the packaging that they send me is really weird, right? Because it's like not out yet.
Oh yeah, it's like pre-production or whatever. Looks small. Delicate.
That's what she said.
It's the world's smallest miter gauge.
It looks like a tiny miter gauge, but it's like a T-square. And it's a depth gauge. So you can measure like the depth of holes and stuff. And you ever wanted to measure the depth of an angled hole? It goes on an angle too.
Ooh, cool.
So I don't know if I'm supposed to show people that, but let's be honest, nobody listens to the podcast, so I think we're okay. Especially how many people look at the live stream, like 2 people? And I think these will be out by the time the podcast comes out anyway. So
I want to say real quick, we have a bot in the live stream chat right now.
Do we?
It's advertising hot girls here.
Oh, nice. Dude, we have made it.
Yeah, I know. You know how sometimes on your YouTube video you get those like spammy comments? It seems like the same format. Yeah, hot boys here.
Awesome. Oh man, we have officially made it. So
there we go.
Yeah, but so I got the woodpecker stuff, and dude,
nice.
I told you I went to meet Jay and some of the folks at Woodpeckers.
Yep.
What, like
2
2
weeks
weeks
ago?
right? Dude, that place is sick.
Yeah, I bet.
If you've
do they do all the manufacturing in house?
100%.
Cool.
Like, they didn't have a lot of the stuff running while I was there, but like I could see where a lot of stuff was like in process of running. And to me, it was like, did you ever watch the show How It's Made?
Oh boy, do I ever.
Dude, it was literally like watching that show in person.
That's awesome.
That sounds like a great time. And I mean, you know this, like you've met a lot of the folks from like DeWalt and stuff like that. When you work with a brand, your relationship is primarily over email.
Yes,
100%.
And
you can be personable, but it's difficult to build a relationship with someone. But once you go like physically, like you're next to that person, you're sitting in the same room as them, talking to them, meeting them, you kind of gain like a new respect for the company that you're working with, because it's like
100%.
Like I can now see the people that I'm interacting with and like all the people who are making all of these tools that I'm using, and it's just like I feel like it gives you a lot more respect for the companies that you're working with.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes from like this. You have like this, imaginary person in your mind. Essentially, it's like having a like a placeholder in your mind for the person you're talking to on the other side of an email. Like you see a photo of them, or you kind of have an idea of what they're looking like. And same thing with businesses too. But then when you actually really go and meet them
It's like, okay, now you have a fully flushed out person instead of like this little avatar or something. It's just it's a way deeper connection.
It's a deeper connection. And what am I trying to say? I think it gets me to, you get a deeper connection. And because of that, I'm more likely to be lenient or less transactional about things, if that makes sense.
Totally. Yeah.
So
yeah, when it's just a person, like it's just an email account you're interacting with, it gets real easy to just like, kind of write it off. But if it's like a real person, I don't know, it's all of a sudden you're describing like this person's hopes and dreams and personality and all these things, right?
Right. And it goes from, a company that's just like, hey, if we send you this tape measure where you make a video, and you're like, oh, I don't want to make a video about a tape measure, to a company that you've met everybody here and they're like, hey, we got this tape measure that's coming out. We're excited about it. And you're like, yeah, I'm excited for you guys. I'd love to help you. You know what I mean? Like you become more lenient.
But it becomes like, anybody can say in an email that they're excited about a tape measure. But when you go to the factory and you see them rolling off the assembly line and you see all the work that went into it and you see like the production behind it, all of a sudden you have a deeper appreciation for what the word excited means to them, right?
For sure.
It's this product that they've been working on for months and months. It's not just like some filler word somebody put in an email.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I got to see some of the stuff that they were kind of somewhat working on, and they got one, I can't be specific, but they have one thing that's very large that you would not expect woodpeckers to make. Oh, but that's good. Precision would be unbelievably important for this large item that they're prototyping right now. And I got to see it. And I was like, you guys are going to blow this industry away. If that, they don't even know if it's going to launch yet, but if it does come out, they're going to give a lot of people a run for their money.
Okay. So, okay. Maybe you can talk about that in the after show, or is
Maybe.
Okay. Oh, you got some chicken broth you're sipping on there?
Oh, baby, I am. This is not even the low sodium. This is high test.
Oh, it's salty.
Yeah, it's salty. But let's see. I got that off of there. I had somebody message me about something earlier, and I wanted to ask if you were ever guilty or I don't think you're still guilty because you don't have time for this shit. Oh, that's explicit. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. There it goes.
Explicit.
Sorry.
Do you recall? So when did you start Instagram? Do you recall?
Oh, geez. No. I'm not sure, to be honest. Oh, it's been a while. It's been a little while because I did Instagram before I ever did YouTube.
Okay, so maybe like 2016, 2018?
Somewhere in that range for sure.
Okay. Well, the reason I asked this question is because somebody messaged me and asked me if I wanted to join their, and they didn't call it this, but I know what it is.
Oh, their engagement pod.
Yes. So you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. Please tell me you're not still involved in one of these things.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Yeah, so let me fill the listeners in. Because this was, so back when I started on Instagram, when you're like, okay, I'm going to take this whole Instagram thing seriously, you go on Google, you type in how to grow on Instagram.
Yeah, naturally.
You find a listicle that has like all these little steps that you follow. And, item number 2 or 3 would always be join an engagement pod or an engagement group or whatever. So basically it's a group of people that get together and they all agree whenever somebody in the group posts, they're all going to go, they're going to like it, they're going to comment on it, they're going to favorite it, and they're going to try and give it a little boost in engagement to help with, how it gets picked up in the algorithm to essentially cheat Instagram into giving it more exposure.
Right.
Yes.
And to summarize, everyone was like, man, this is it. This is how my page is going to blow up.
Yeah.
Let's back up. Instagram came out in what? 2011, 2012 or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Do you really think after 6 years of them being out that they had no clue that people were trying to pull this over them? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's at this point, I mean, I'm sure it worked at some point, but in 2022, forget about it. It's just a waste of your time, unfortunately.
Is like usually these pods had 5, 10, maybe like 12 to 15 people in it. Do you really think 12 extra likes on your posts does a damn thing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If any listeners are in an engagement pod, if you just want to like be in one because you're like, oh, you know, Sarah, what you're building is really cool. I really like this. Like, tell me about that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Please use like, you know, chats or whatever just to talk with people. But if your sole intent is getting on these just to boost your content, stop doing it. You're wasting your time.
I agree. It's you know, if you're doing it to be a member of a community or to support your friends or whatever it is, I mean, sure, go for it. But if you think that it's the road to higher growth, I would not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. It's gonna be a big time suck. It's not gonna do anything. And who knows, maybe in 2022, maybe Instagram's got some way of detecting it and maybe it's a negative mark on your account. Who knows?
It's all, you know, that conspiracy right there.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there's a great conspiracy.
Oh, we forgot to ask Mark about his conspiracy.
Oh yeah, we got to ask the guests about what conspiracy theory they believe from now on.
But I guess summarize Instagram pods. Hell, stop it.
No. What you want to do is you want to post reels and nothing but reels. Actually, I don't even know if I've taken the last like week or so off Instagram because I was just getting a little burned out on it. I was like, I'm making all these videos, nothing's really happening lately. I just I've just been pausing a little bit on it to focus on some other stuff.
I used to be like, oh man, I only get like 50 or 100K views on that. Dude, like recently I'm like 8,000, 20,000, 14,000, 11,000, 16,000, 6,000, 6,000, 9,000. Like,
might as well be describing my feed. And I was like, what is the point of this? Like, you know, I was carving out so much time out of my schedule to make more reels. And it's like, I'm just going to take a little bit of a break for a moment and kind of reevaluate because I feel like I'm spinning my wheels a little bit at this point.
And I'm the same way. It's like, I'm not really making any money on Instagram right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a couple obligations that I have to do, but I mean, other than that, dude, I'm full in on YouTube right now. I've been seeing
you've been killing it.
Oh, dude, I don't know what the hell's happening.
I think one, you're on a bit of a hot streak, which
no doubt
happens, right?
No doubt.
I think you really stepped up your thumbnail and title game lately, so that's just compounding the growth that you're already. Yeah, but I mean, it's obviously paying big dividends. So
yeah,
hell yeah, why not,
dude? I'm on this is a streak I have never seen. So if I pull up analytics, like this is a bananas number for me. I'm trying to load it up. Last 28 days, 1.3 million views.
Nice.
12,500 subscribers. 121 watch hours. Mm-hmm. And I don't think the revenue number is important, but it's impressive.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I won't say it, but if this is to get anybody watching, that's what it's estimating right now. I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah.
So I was like, here we go.
Yeah.
But then if you look at the like lifetime of my channel, here's the views.
Right. Yeah.
It's flatline to the damn moon.
Do you think that first big, like kind of like medium-sized spike there was that your video where you said I lost half my business?
I think so. Or the one I put out a couple weeks ago, the wine rack, where I said I don't understand why people do this.
Okay.
Which is the dumbest title.
But you know why? Because you have like that picture of like a cult. People think
click that video thinking you're talking about using the clamp to even out the seams of a glue up, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, interesting.
I don't know. And like, so now this other one, I changed my table saw router table. I changed the thumbnail on it, and now look at the graph.
Yep.
Like, what the hell? It's going literally straight up.
Yep.
Like, this is what I'm telling you. Like, I listened to that or the live stream that John and Scott did, or Lincoln Street Woodworks and Scott Walsh did. And I was like, they're so right. You spend all this time in these old videos. Why do you just leave them out the pasture and let them die?
Yeah.
Take some time, do the A/B testing, and I can revive a video that's 2 years old and start making thousands of dollars on something that is dead.
The really crappy thing about the A/B testing, though, is that you need views in order for it to work.
You're absolutely right.
I have old videos that I'm like trying to A/B test, but they're just like
takes 6 months to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like I'm kind of waiting and waiting. It's like there's some that I've been testing for so long, I'm still not getting like a significant result one way or the other. So I'm like, do I just cut the test and start another test? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it's challenging. Or like, so I guess what you're saying is like, okay, so for a good video, if I put one out, you can do an A/B test, like a new video, I'll do an A/B test on. And usually in 5 or 6 days, you'll be like, okay, we had 400,000 impressions. Well, you can make a statistical judgment from that.
Yeah.
If it's an old video that's dead, like literally dead, it might get like 75 impressions. It's like you can't make a decision off of that.
Yes, exactly. So it's actually, like this is a little bit of like inside baseball, but if you ever catch a hot streak on YouTube, it's probably a great time to go and do exactly what you did and go and revamp all your old titles and thumbnails, because when you go on a hot streak, you're getting impressions on those older videos. Like I noticed that when I had a couple of my shorts blow up, all of a sudden I'm starting to accumulate video views on videos that hadn't really seen any growth in a year or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, and that's pretty much exactly why I did it.
Yeah.
And also, obviously, from that, I've started to get a lot more brands reach out. It's just like, but some of these people give you just asinine offers.
Oh, I mean, that's, yeah.
So, I don't know.
Half my day is just sorting through stupid emails. Yeah, you sent me, yeah. Sorry, I wanted to talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, so I had realized that a lot of brands, what they do is they're like, hey, we're looking at the average of your whatever videos and the average of your last 12 videos with the views in the first 30 days. First of all, I don't think brands actually have the ability to see that.
Yeah, I think they can kind of like guesstimate it, unless there's some like, maybe somebody makes some proprietary software that they sell to ad agencies that pulls that number.
But I don't think so.
No? Okay.
So, but I could be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong. But so what I had done is, because I had so many brands reach out with just these arbitrary numbers. And I got to thinking, well, how do a lot of agencies do this? What they usually do is for our listeners, they do something called a CPM, which is a cost per milli, which basically means how much are they going to pay you, or how much is a milli, which is 1,000th. How much should I pay this person for every 1,000 views that they get? Now, in the woodworking space, the typical number, and it fluctuates a lot, is anywhere between like 20 and 40. It can go up, it can go down. A lot of it's based on the time of the year and advertising budgets or whatever. So let's just say it was a CPM of $20. So if you averaged on the last 10 videos 100,000 views, you divide that by 1,000, which would be 100. You multiply 100 by 20, which is 2,000. So a reasonable rate for you to charge a brand would be $2,000 based on the average number of views and your CPM.
Yep.
Well, it's kind of difficult to calculate all of that. So what I did, and I sent it to you, Zach, is I made this spreadsheet where you can put all your videos in, you know, how many views you had after 30, 45, 60, 90, whatever days.
Yeah.
And then over to the side, you can put in like the CPM that you believe that you're worth or what you're seeing a lot of other brands pay you. And they'll say, okay, based on a $20 CPM and the last 5 videos that you put out, how those have done in their first 30 days, here is exactly what you should be charging. And it also takes into consideration statistical outliers too. So I built another box where you can be like, okay, I want to take out the top and bottom 10% if you had an underperformer and overperformer.
Yeah.
So I feel like that, I presented that to a brand. I literally took a screenshot of it and be like, okay, my rate at, I don't care, I'll say the number. It was like $1,996 for a rate.
And here's all the math to back it up.
Right. You know that the only thing that they can say is, we can't do that rate.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the whole reason that I built the tool, is so like you can back up your rates or go, damn, I'm undercharging.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I sent that to you. It's still kind of a work in progress, but I mean, it's definitely usable to get you a ballpark.
Yeah. No, it's a good idea. The only caveat I would say with that is that you might end up underbidding yourself in some situations, right? Because some brands aren't necessarily, you know, especially in the woodworking space, if you're talking to a woodworking brand, they might just be like, oh, we got $10,000 to do some YouTube videos with. Let's get 3 creators, and they'll just negotiate amongst those 3 creators.
Yeah.
And, you know, they might have already filled the other 2 slots. They might have $6,000 left. If you're a slick negotiator, they might just give you $6,000 regardless of how many views you normally get, right? Like,
you're absolutely
it's not
right.
always. I think that tool is particularly useful when you're dealing with like large, well-established companies that advertise a lot on YouTube.
Sure. Like,
but if you were working
Skillshare, Squarespace,
precisely,
all those things. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you were working with a smaller company, like, you know, say Rust-Oleum came to you and like, we want to do a YouTube video with you, Eric. For something like that, I think you might almost be better off. Like, I mean, I would use your thing as like a baseline, like do not go below.
Guidance.
But I would try and negotiate a little bit higher.
And I'm, you know, as well as I do, whatever number you present a brand, it's a business.
Yeah.
You present them $100, they're always going to go, could you do 70?
Yeah, exactly.
Never go in with your minimum rate from the get-go.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, it's these stupid negotiations of you meet in the middle, even though it's the worst way to do negotiation. It's just how it works. Don't start at your minimum.
Yes. Yeah. Anchor high. Always anchor people very high.
Anchor high.
I had something else that I wanted to say about that. Well, whatever. Can't be that important.
Well, you want to change gears, and we got a question today.
Yes. Okay.
This is a long one, so it ends with thanks, Mitch. So let me get through this. I'm gonna take a sip here.
That was chicken broth for everybody.
No, the chicken broth's empty. I'm not
kidding.
Okay, this comes from Mitchell Robson, and he says, second time caller, love the podcast. Which I'm just saying, if you're gonna start out with flattery, Mitchell, that's a good way to start.
It's not bad.
All right. My question is, and I haven't read this. Oh my God. My question is, what are some tools that do one very specific job that you do not need to own to do the task, but they make it 1,000 times easier? For reference, this question came to me when Zach talked about a palm nailer for joist hangers, which I agree is better than nailing, but I found a metal connector nailer a couple years back, which makes installing joist hangers simple to install. You said,
Yeah, somebody told me about these.
Yeah.
They're also called like positive placement nailers, I think is a different way to say joist hanger nailer.
Okay. The other tool that comes to mind when asked this question is the camo drive collated screw attachment. I'm assuming that's combo.
No, there's this thing called, well, okay, maybe. There is a camo screw fastener. That's like a specific tool.
Oh, okay. Collated screw attachment for doing angled screws on decks, which saves you so much time, not to mention your back. What are your favorite tools that do only one job, but they do the job so well that you don't care what it costs to purchase? Thanks, Mitch.
So, hold on, I want to show you. So, a camo screwdriver so say you're putting in deck boards.
Yeah.
It's a jig that drives your screw in at a 45-degree angle on the side of the board so that you can have a perfectly screwless finish on your deck boards. It's a pretty handy little tool.
I know Craig makes like a little jig, but you would still have to do it with a hand drill.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of the same thing. But yeah, specifically for decking.
Oh, if I build a deck, I would buy that day one.
Yeah, I've used one before. They're quite good.
They're only $200.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, just stop talking about it. Buy it.
Yeah, just go in and buy it. Okay, so to get back to the question, though, I feel like anytime you have a tool that does multiple things, the more things a single tool does, the worse it's going to do each of them.
Yes.
Right? I'm one of these crazy people, like in the shop, I have a different screwdriver for every screw head, as opposed to the guy who has like the magnetic.
Oh, yeah.
Like, swap from a Phillips to Robertson to Torx.
Yeah.
I have a screwdriver for each individual one because I don't like that little bit of slop that you get in a magnetic screw cartridge screwdriver, right?
Fair.
Like, that's kind of an extreme example, but I feel that way about all things. So anytime there's like a tool that does multiple things, you can almost always break it out into separate tools, and each one of those separate tools will perform the task better, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedy agree with that statement. I'm trying to think of like the classic example I like to think of is like all the garbage you see on Instagram, the table saw, miter saw, lathe, drill press, all combined into one shitty box. It's not going to do any of those well.
Yeah, and I mean, like a Leatherman is like a great example of this, right?
Yeah.
Like if you've ever tried to use a Leatherman to do real work, you're like, this thing is garbage.
Right.
It's just one of these kind of like, if you're in a survival situation, all you have is this little tiny 2-inch knife. I guess it'll kind of do in that circumstance.
I mean, do you even think a Leatherman would be useful to keep in your car, like in your glove box?
I own 0 Leatherman, and I don't know. No, that's not true. I think I have one that I bought for camping once, but it's packed away in storage.
It's useless.
They're really useless. The knives aren't even sharp. That's what gets me about it. Every time I've tried one of them, it's got the dullest knife. It's got the dullest serrated little saw. It's, how they have the serrated saw? It's like, what can you cut with that? Like, have you ever tried to cut a little branch on a tree? You're there for an hour going back and forth. It's horrible.
Well, it's if you're out to the Chinese restaurant and your chopsticks are too long, you're like,
exactly,
shorten these things up. Thank God I got my Leatherman saw.
Even that, it would struggle to cut through chopsticks most of the time.
It's probably, like you said, it's not sharp. It's useless.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
So you said screwdrivers.
Yeah, that's a luxury one, but that's one I enjoy. I like having each individual screwdriver, if possible.
But that's not that expensive. Let's think of something like a luxury. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And people are gonna give me a hard time because I'm picking 2 festival things. Oh, sweet, Eric. one domino.
Yeah.
Just buy a
Yeah,
damn thing.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Did you buy yours yet?
No, not yet. maybe if I have a YouTube month like you just had, then I'll get one.
Well, you said that you had a good month. Like,
I know, but I've already earmarked that money for my special Christmas project.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. The other one, after having a Festival dust extractor, dude, I will never buy a regular shop vac.
Yeah. Dust extractor is magnificent.
Ridiculous cost though.
Yeah. If you're into making tables and stuff like that, like go get yourself a big 6-inch sander.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That like,
Drum sander too.
Ooh, drum sander. That is the ultimate luxury. I love my drum sander so much.
How much was your drum sander? It had to be almost 2,000, right?
$1,500 because I got a used one.
Okay.
And it came with like $400 worth of sandpaper. Just like rolls of all sorts of different grits.
Okay.
Which I was really happy about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad. So would you pick drum sander as your expensive luxury item that you wouldn't?
I think so. I think so.
If you lost your drum sander today, would
I'd
you
go
go buy
buy
a new
another
one
one.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
No questions asked.
No questions asked. Same thing. This is kind of maybe getting a little away from the spirit of the question, but my CNC too.
Okay.
Like I would go get another one.
You know what I used when I was at the festival event last 2 weeks ago? I guess we didn't talk about it last time. Dude, I used the Shaper Origin.
Oh yeah, how's that?
Insanely good.
I don't rightfully understand how it works. Like I know you like put down tape and it kind of like uses the tape as a guide. Like how's it work? Walk me through it.
So in simple form, yes, you put the tape out. The tape has think of like a barcode. And then on the front of the Shaper Origin, if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, it's basically a router that's a handheld CNC. So like you can load files onto it, carve everything, and you move in the rough area of where you need to go. And it has about a 1/2 inch play in every single axis. It might even be more than that. So like you can go off your line and it'll kind of adjust itself.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. I was wondering if you got off the line, if it would stop the head from spinning.
It does, and it sucks it up instantly.
And it sucks it up, too.
Not as fast as a saw stop, but pretty damn fast.
Okay, cool.
So you lay down the tape, which is effectively like barcode, and you lay down the tape. Let's think of an example of you making a big logo in the middle of a dining table. Okay?
Sure.
You're going to put several rows of tape towards the center of the dining table. Then you kind of like pivot the Shaper Origin side to side. So it's basically scanning the barcode to figure out where it is in 3D space. After that, you'll get this like digital depiction kind of like what your table looks like, but it's also superimposed with an actual photo. So it's almost like a video camera where you have like two things being shown at the same time. So you're like kind of seeing your workspace. And then you can load your file on it and you just, you cut it. You can do inside, you can cut on the line, you can cut inside the line, outside the line, or whatever. You can do offsets if you need to make it slightly, tighter, looser. All of this on the machine with just like a button real quick. No computer required. Then you
does it have like its own little like Wi-Fi connection? Okay. All right, cool.
And then you just press go and you basically just guide it along and it automatically does like, the speed, slow down the spindle, does like the depth of cut. So if you're doing like 3/4 of an inch thick, you just take multiple passes and it works itself automatically down doing it. And dude, we did a bow tie inlay on just like a piece of plywood. It was crazy how accurate this thing was.
Yeah, I bet.
Like,
wow.
No gap. Like, you had to use like a mallet because we would like slightly do the offset of like just dial it in, and then you like tap it in with a mallet, and it looked like it was a precision fit. I did not believe
cool.
it would be that accurate.
Wow. So what do you think the best application for something like that is? Like bow ties jumps out to me as like a really cool one.
Yeah.
The aforementioned, like putting a logo in the middle of a table or something like that. How else do you see that being useful?
So I could see it being useful for someone like me who I have no interest in doing production work.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to like, you know, batch out like custom cutting boards and like all that kind of stuff, 100% this is not what you want.
Yeah.
Because you have to hold it the whole time.
Yeah.
But if like every once in a while you want to like make an MDF template and then template right around
true.
it, you have unlimited size.
Yeah.
Because you could effectively make it 100 feet by 100 feet if you wanted to, which no CNC is that big.
Yeah.
You can also do joinery with it.
Oh yeah.
So they have
like
an attachment.
mortises?
Yeah, you can do mortises. You have an attachment where instead of, you know, your board's flat and the spindle comes down on the board, you can put the board up vertically at a 90 and carve into the end grain and do like box joints and dovetails and stuff like that, which is cool.
Yeah. So talk to me about the special tape you have to lay down. Do you have to like cover the thing you're working in tape? Is there like a minimum kind of spacing for it?
Yeah. So I guess the board that we were working on was, think of like the size of like a large pizza box.
Okay.
So, you know, like roughly 2 feet by 2 feet.
Okay.
We put down 3 rows of tape. Each row is probably about an inch wide and goes all the way end to end of the board. So you're using what? Let's call it 6 feet of tape.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you needed. But what a lot of people will do is they'll make like basically jigs where they'll lay the tape down and then set their piece like in a specific pocket so they never have to reuse the tape.
I see. Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
Shaper just came out with this like metal plate that's like a reusable metal one that has the tape built into it. So if like you're continuously working on things that are about a 6-inch by 6-inch square, you never have to buy tape.
Right. You just drop it in.
Yeah, you just drop it on there and you're good to go.
That's cool. I like that.
It was one of those things where like I've seen people use it, but really genuinely until you get your hands on it, I don't think you understand how nice it is.
I've seen, again, videos of people using it. I think if I had any criticism of the Shaper or whatever, Origin Shaper, I don't know if you need to say the full name, it's that they don't communicate how exactly it works that well in all their like videos and stuff that I've seen online about it.
They just want you to like just trust it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, well, I got questions about how this thing works, and they don't always answer that very well. But that's good to know. That's really cool. I would love to play with one of those.
So, dude, it's expensive.
Oh yeah, it's like $5-6 grand, something like that.
So US, just the Shaper Origin is $2,900.
Oh, okay.
If
it's
you
not
want
as bad as I thought.
like that metal plate with it, then it's $3,174.
Okay.
And then if you
how much is the tape? That's what I gotta know.
Oh yeah, I don't know. If you want the Origin, the metal plate, and what they call the workstation, which has like a bunch of clamps so you can like do stuff vertically, that's $3,600. Accessories, I bet the tape is not cheap. The tape is $22 for 150 feet.
That's not as bad as I would have thought. Honestly, that's probably the most reasonably priced thing you've said.
But but think of it. So I told you that example of like roughly a large pizza box. We use, let's call it
6 feet.
6 feet. Okay.
So you get like,
so you could do 30 of those.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not bad at all.
Right. Over 25 of those.
Yeah, it's less. It's like $1 a carve or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Assuming you're completely just like tossing out the tape after every use.
Right. And you also have to consider that like you're buying the Shaper Origin, you're not just setting up like a production run and making 1,000 cutting boards right there. Like you're probably doing a one-off custom thing, or like, let's say you go to somebody's home and you want to carve their name in their hardwood floor.
Oh, okay, that's a good use case.
You're just going to put a couple, like a foot or two of tape down and like move on with your life.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. It's really, it's definitely intriguing for me with my lack of space, because it just packs up in a sustainer and then you're done.
Yep. I get that.
But it's really cool.
Yeah. Well, maybe in the near future for you. Did you talk to like a rep for it?
Yeah. So they were sharing the same booth as Festool. I think.
Okay.
They own Festool, or like they're like a sister company or something like that.
Okay.
So I spent some time with that rep as well. I don't remember his name, but it was it was really cool. Check it out.
Okay, I will for sure. I'm looking forward to your future video sponsored by Shaper Origin.
I've reached out to them once in the past, and they're like, yeah, we don't really do that kind of stuff. And I know some people that they're not sponsored by Shaper, but what they basically have done is Shaper's like, yeah, you can borrow it and just like test it out. And they've just basically kept it. They've just never given it back.
Okay.
So it's like, so not really
too...
a sponsorship.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't know. I just want to try a CNC. Like I've never tried one, so it's difficult for me to
hop on a plane. Come on up here. I'll give you a rundown on how to use mine.
I know. Bring it to Workbench.
Yeah, bring it to Workbench. I think mine is like 400 pounds or something like that.
Holy smokes, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, the pro one is heavy. The regular one is not as bad.
So who'd you end up giving that to? Are they using it? I'm curious.
I actually haven't. So I gave it to one of my old clients who has a cutting board company.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So he was pretty pumped on it, but I actually haven't talked to him to see if he's getting that much use out of it.
Watch, he's like, yeah, ended up selling it.
Yeah.
To get some rigid tools.
Yeah. Rigid tools and Odie's oil. That's what I want to spend my money on.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was it was interesting. I should talk to him, because he was doing a lot of units of cutting boards. He was like a real estate agent, and he was like doing cutting boards as like gifts for his clients, but also he had like everybody in his office buying cutting boards from him to give to their clients, I think. So he had a nice little side woodworking business.
Not bad. Like the two of us, a little side thing we got going on.
Exactly, yeah.
Full-time, part-time, as I like to call it. Well, we hit an hour. What do you say we head over? Yeah, hour 2. Hour and 3 if we drag it on for a couple more seconds. What do you What do you say we head over to the after show, and we got some questions from patrons.
Okay, sounds very good.
All right, well, you got anything for the freeloaders?
Stop being so cheap. Come on, get on the Patreon. We're having a good time over there.
Except last
I'm kidding.
week. We didn't.
Except last week, yeah. I mean, we should honestly refund everybody a quarter of their monthly contribution, because they didn't get their after show last week.
Well, see, here's the problem: is everyone's assuming that we're always going to have a show every week.
True.
We we might not always be able to do that. So
yeah, we've been pretty good about it so far. I think might be a good idea to have a couple in the bank or something that we can just
I know.
Because like over Christmas, who knows? Things might get crazy.
That's true. What we'll do is we'll do it during a Christmas party. We'll just have a bunch of background noise.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I'll just like bring people in randomly. We're having a big Christmas party actually this Saturday. So I'll just bring people in for like 10 minutes at a time. It's like, hey, this is my buddy Jeff.
Like, hey Jeff, how are you? And Jeff brings up a bunch of like politics and stuff, and it's
oh god, no, that's not what we do
super
here, Jeff.
Drunk. We're like,
get
out of here, Jeff. You're never invited back again.
Goddamn Jeff, he's the worst.
Well. What do you say we button it up here and head over the after show?
Let's do it. Sounds good, man.
All right, everybody. As always, we appreciate you listening. All that we ask. Well, last week you're supposed to go buy Mark's book.
Yes.
And I can see that not all of you guys did it. So, buy Mark's book and tell somebody else about the podcast. That's the only way we can grow this damn thing. Is you gotta tell people about this.
And send us questions.
Preferably
in the form of voice notes. We haven't had one.
Oh yeah, baby. Wow. We want to. Mark Alms, I know you're listening. Give us that voice note question. But someone else beat Mark out and put your voice note in there too. If that still works, I don't know. This is just getting weird now. All right, we're out of here. We'll see you next week.
See you, everybody. Peace.